Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Timothy here with Diver Gaming, and we are going to be playing some Kaldheim today. This is actually going to be my second draft. I have watched zero footage of this format. I have played exactly one draft where I went 5-3 with a pretty unspectacular deck. And from what I could tell, my initial reaction is that the set is very complicated and hard to grasp, both in the draft itself and in the actual gameplay. There's a lot of decision making to be done, for lack of a better word. Yes, we are a cube focused community, but we would like to start offering some other footage and things for people to watch. So we're going to do a couple limited videos here and there whenever I get the time to sit down and record. So we're going to go ahead and play Kaldheim. We're doing traditional, so best of one, and that means we're going up to 7 wins or 3 losses, whichever one comes first. I'm sure you're familiar with this by now. I don't have a lot of initial impressions or hot takes for the format, so we're going to take it as we go. Don't yell at me in the comments if you've done 15 drafts and I don't catch on that a certain common or uncommon is better than it is, or if I'm overrating things. Just let me know what's working for you and let me know how you feel about this draft, what you would have picked, any gameplay errors that come up. Feel free to comment below. If you're interested in cubing with us, you can find links to our Discord community down below. So if you're new to Diver Gaming, thanks for hanging out. That being said, why don't we go ahead and jump into a draft here and figure out a little bit more about this format. Again, my first deck was not very good. It was a black-white double spell deck, but I failed to draft enough cheap spells to really make it tick. So I was kind of just playing a bunch of vanilla creatures and below rate vanilla creatures as well. My opponents seemed like they were doing much stronger things. The only reason I really went 5-3 is because I had a Doomscar in my deck. So let's see what we've got to kick things off here. I do know I'm going to take this rare. So Furia's Retribution is a 4-mana saga that makes a Serra Angel on Chapter 1, and then on Chapter 2 you can tap your angels to destroy target creature with power less than this creature's power. And then on Chapter 3, all of your angels gain double strike. There's quite a few angels actually floating around this set, but this is just a very powerful card. It's a little vulnerable to bounce spells and removal in general, right? If you play this on turn 4 and then your opponent bounces your angel or kills your angel or otherwise just deals with it, it kind of doesn't do anything else. The other chapters don't matter. You're not going to get like a ton of angels, and the changelings are only in blue and green, so you're not going to get a bunch of those either. I think Basalt Ravager is likely very strong. The giant blue-red deck seems really good to me. Glimpse of the Cosmos, also very good in that deck. Priest of the Haunted Edge seems like an okay card if you can pick up a bunch of snow lands. And that's about it here that I'm super interested in. It seems like a bunch of weaker commons. I'm sure the Draugr thing's pretty good. Pack 2. Doesn't look like we've got a very good pick to follow up Furia's Retribution here. There is not a black card I'm really willing to second pick here. Wither Crown's okay. I'm not sure what deck wants this exactly, but it's a decent control card. Your opponent can get some utility out of a 0-power creature, but there we are. Nico Defies Destiny feels like a good card if you go down the Foretell route. You do need a lot of Foretell to make it work. Again, there's not really a lot that goes with Retribution. There is Stalwart Valkyrie. This is actually an angel, and it's a pretty solid card. It would want us to prioritize picking up some sort of cheap creatures that we can get into our graveyard very easily. Village Rites is probably a card you want one of in your deck. There's also Glitter and Frost, which is a card that strikes me as probably pretty good. Rootless You, also decent, but not very synergistic with anything in particular. I think I'm going to take Stalwart Valkyrie because it does go with the Retribution here. And we'll try to pick up some cheap ways to get that in our graveyard. Following that up, we have Solid coming, which would have been nice to pick this up after picking up Nico Defies Destiny. We have Forging the Tyrite Sword. This card is very bad. Axgard Braggart is probably decent, although I don't really want to start off with a bunch of 4s. Iron Verdict, more of a control card, but a good way to just deal with a creature that's attacking you. I could see going down the blue-white route here and then trying to splash Furia's Retribution. There's also Snow-Covered Plains, but I have 0 payoffs yet. These two black cards seem pretty mediocre. In fact, Dusk Wielder seems very bad unless you're specifically green-black elves. The red cards all seem not worth moving into another color for. I think I'm going to take the counterspell here. I think you can get a lot of value out of a counterspell in this format where your opponent foretells a card and then you counter saw it coming. You counter their foretell card. Not 100% sure about that pick yet. What do we have next? So there's Glimpse of the Cosmos, which, again, is pretty decent, although you do really want some giants to make this card excellent. It goes from pretty bad with no giants to very good with giants, so it's a little strange. There's Ruined Crown, which I have a suspicion is pretty good if you can pick up a couple of the runes. There's a lot of white cards. I'm getting a pretty good sign that white is open, although I don't think the Boast cards in general are very good, and I do think Mistwalker's strong, plus I'm getting a decent signal that blue's open. So not only is this an angel in case we do go down this route with Retribution, it's just a very good card. A 1/4 blocker is hard to get through. It's a changeling, so if we pick up cards like Glimpse of the Cosmos, it works with those. And it can just hit for a lot of damage in the late game. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, and hopefully blue ends up being open here. Because we've got some good blue cards. Doomscar Titan's a nice one, as is Squash. So Doomscar Titan can come down for 6 mana and give all your creatures +1/+0 in haste, so it attacks as a 5/4 haste. You can also foretell it and get it down a turn earlier. There's Squash, which pushes into a different color that I don't really want to be in yet. There's also Littjara Kinseekers, which I think is going to be my pick here because, again, it's another changeling, so we can try to prioritize some stuff that works with, you know, whatever creature types we need. It works with Retribution, even though it's kind of awkwardly another 4-drop. On its own, you do really need to trigger its ability for it to be good. If you control 2 other creatures that share a creature type, this will come in as a 3/5 that scries one, and that's pretty decent, but otherwise it's a 4-mana 2/4, and that's a lot weaker. I guess I could consider the Starnheim thing. Here we go, Morite. I don't think Ravenform... I'm getting reports that Ravenform is not good. There's Frostbite here, too. This is pretty late. It looks like blue-red is kind of where I want to be, but also Morite of the Frost is very powerful. It can only copy your permanents. It's completely off of where we want to be with Furia's Retribution, but it's kind of a sign that the color pair is pretty open, and it does work nicely with my other changelings, where they all kind of warrant the same kind of things. I could see this not being correct, and I'm supposed to take, like, Frostbite, but if we're going to move into another color, I'd rather take the higher upside creature. So this is a clone for your creatures, basically. We haven't wheeled yet. We've got a couple things left. We've got Karfell Harbinger, which can power out some of your instants and sorceries. This lets you foretell for cheaper, essentially. It's not amazing. I think Mists of Littjara is probably fine. I think I'm going to take Depart the Realm, and Frostbite's still looking at me here. That's the second Frostbite we've seen late, so I wouldn't be surprised if, like, blue-red giants is where I want to be, but I kind of value a cheap bounce spell here. Works nicely alongside other foretell cards. Looks like the Furia's Retribution is not where I'm supposed to be this draft. There's no black cards coming our way. I'm going to take the cheap bounce spell, though. Disdainful Stroke is actually probably pretty good. A lot of times our opponents are going to be putting cheap cards into the foretell zone and then trying to cast them a lot earlier in the game than they should, and Disdainful Stroke feels like a good way to interact with that. I think Midst of Littjara is probably decent as well to just stave off early aggression. Not really a green card that I'm excited about. Roots of Wisdom can help us buy back some of our changelings, but I'm going to take Disdainful Stroke. We'll try it out and see if that's good in the format or not. I don't like Strategic Plan, and it seems pretty bad to me. Karfell Harbinger might actually be good in this deck. Raise the Draugr also probably pretty good. Although, again, I don't think black's particularly open. Arachnoform seems pretty bad, especially when all your creatures are already changelings. I'm going to take this Harbinger. It lets us foretell cards for a little bit cheaper, and we have 2 foretell cards already. Be interesting to see if the blue-white thing wheels out of the next pack. There's also Scorn Effigy, but we want some sort of foretell payoff before we grab that card. It did wheel. Is it what we want to pick up here? There's an Undersea Invader, which seems like a pretty weak late-game card. Goldvein Pick is actually pretty decent, I think. This card seems pretty strong. But with 2 foretell cards already and a foretell kind of payoff card, in Carfell Harbinger, I think I probably want to take Nico Defies Destiny. It can gain you a little bit of life, and then it helps you cast Foretell cards. We're going to be looking for Behold the Multiverses. Another Depart the Realms? Sure. And again, these two cards are highly speculative right now. Either one looks like a splash at the moment. This card's just so bad. This card's okay, but I'm going to have plenty of 4-drops. It's a Dwarf Warrior too, which isn't super prevalent. I'm going to take the Depart the Realm. And I don't really want any of this stuff, to be honest. This isn't a Foretell card that looks like something my deck really wants. I have no red yet. I guess I'll go ahead and take the 2-3 and not be super happy about it. This seems late for this card. This card is pretty strong. I'm going to go ahead and take it. Again, it looks like blue-red is kind of where this draft wants me to be, and I'm not listening particularly well. I think Raven form is just a little bit too risky. Like, we just picked up some good red cards. What do we got going on here? So we have King Narfi's Betrayal. This is a pretty good way to kind of eke a lot of advantage out of your... just out of a 3-mana saga. We don't have any way to play black right now. It might be just good enough to take. I'm definitely blue is the thing, right? Let's assume we're not playing white. And we don't have to assume we're playing red either for any reason. Like, we could easily go blue-black, and we're bound to see a decent amount of black in this pack in particular, given how the first pack went. But that means pack 3, we're not going to get a lot of black. There's also Volatile Fjord. I'm tempted to take this card just because it is super powerful. Behold the Multiverse is also just kind of what we want, though, right? Behold the Multiverse seems fantastic. Well, I'm going to take Narfi's Betrayal. Mostly because I didn't have enough time to really figure that one out. Here's a Squash. Squash seems really good in our deck. We have, what, 3 of these bad boys? What are they called? Changelings, or Shapeshifters, whatever they're called, Changelings. So Squash actually seems decent here. Vengeful Reaper is a powerful card. Definitely a powerful card. There is also Glitter and Frost, which unfortunately it looks like green wants to be our splash. I'm going to take the Squash here. We should be able to cast it pretty cheaply, fairly often. There's Rune of Flight, which I don't think flying is going to be something that we're really dying for here. There's a Snow-Covered Mountain, which we could just speculatively take. There's also Surtland Frostpire, which is pretty strong. A land that way later in the game can turn into a Pyroclasm type effect isn't terrible. It doesn't actually fix your mana in a meaningful way, so it's not like it's fantastic, but blue-red does feel like where we're going to be at. Bind the Monster, probably okay. Draugr Thought Thief, probably okay. Definitely don't want the third Depart the Realm. These are good black cards, but not quite where I'm at either. Avalanche Caller. Unfortunately, I'm pretty light on Snowlands, and by that I mean I have 0. So we're probably going to look elsewhere for our cards. Could see taking a Pilferin Hawk and trying to pick up a couple sources of snow. Smash and Success. I don't really want any of these red cards. I could take Mists of Littjara. Snowfield Sinkhole. Not really doing it for us. I wish this was like a okay mana fixer for us, because I would actually consider taking the mana fixing card from this pack. This is probably the most useful for us right now. This is white-blue pathway. That's actually probably pretty good, because it lets us potentially splash Nico Defies Destiny. I'm not sure if this is even worth splashing. Alternatively, it doesn't help us splash King Narfi's Betrayal at all. There's also another Mistwalker, though. I think I'm going to take the pathway here. There's also a red-white mana fixin', which is a little bit better if we want to take Defy Destiny, but no, I guess the blue-white's better than the red-white. See, this is, like, I feel like my deck's not coming together. It's not doing a thing. This pack hasn't really given me a lot of payoff for anything either. Like, there's just nothing good in this pack for this type of deck. I'm going to take the Snow-Covered Mountain here. Usher of the Fallen's good. Not going to be good for us, but it is a good card. Other than that, there's really nothing else I even want to play here. Again, I really wish there was just a dual land. We're not going to play this by any stretch. Strategic planning is just so bad. I guess I could take a Craven Hulk, but it is a giant. It can't block alone, which is pretty bad. I guess I'll go ahead and take it. It helps our squash out a little bit. Litjara Mirror Lake is a powerful card. So is Bound in Gold. I'm going to take this. It's kind of a tapped island, and if I can get a couple free green sources in my deck, it does a little bit more than that. Fearless Pup, this thing. Well, Pilfer and Hawk, we picked up one Snowland. Nah, I'm going to take the Mirror Lake. Okay, Glimpse of the Cosmos is a good card. I'm actually pretty happy to pick up Glimpse of the Cosmos. An Anticipate early in the game that can help us find other things, and then we have a decent number of giants picking up the Craven Hulk. We've got like 4 giants in the deck, something along those lines. This is also a giant, so we have 5, I believe. Glimpse of the Cosmos is actually pretty good here. I don't think we're playing King Narfi's Betrayal. Seize the Spoils, pretty bad, but might be the pick here. Hopefully not playing that one. Buying the Monster on the Wheel seems good. As a one-off card, I kind of like this just to lock down something that's super problematic. So I'll take Bind the Monster here over a third copy of this, or just a pretty mediocre 3-2. I don't think you want a ton of those, but we'll take it. Another Craven Hulk. How far down the giant route do we want to go? 4 mana, 4/4 is probably better than a Pilfer and Hawk that's not very likely to do anything. Not going to play Smash and Success, so we'll take a card that kind of doesn't matter. Ditto, and this card probably shouldn't be going last pick, I don't think. We do get another pack. Oh, look at that, a giant payoff. So we're 100% taking this. In fact, is there even anything else in the pack we would really care about? Trickster God's Heist is pretty good. So this actually pays us off for having a bunch of giants in the deck, which we do. It deals 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. A lot of times our opponents are going to have giants or changelings, so this won't always kill every creature on board, but it's going to deal with a vast majority of them a decent amount of the time. And then you get a free Scry 3, which is just a nice little bonus. And then you get to draw 2 cards and discard a card if you cast an expensive spell, which we don't have a lot of yet. I'm really, at this point, looking for a way to splash green because this is a changeling. It's really good in my deck. And I'm less excited about the prospect of splashing white here. So I'm going to take that. Pretty happy about it. Snow-covered mountain. This does not help our splashing situation very much, unfortunately. Colossal Plow, Crew 6 is probably still a bit too much. God, this pack is so bad for us. I'm going to take another Snow-covered mountain here. I guess I could take a middle-of-the-ground 3-drop and not be happy about it. I'll take a mountain in case that comes up for something. Frostpire Arcanist. Let's reserve that and then figure out what it does for us. Another expensive creature. So it comes down for 4, and then if you have a card in your graveyard... Oh, instant or sorcery. I do have 2 Depart the Realms. So when this enters the battlefield, you can search for an instant or sorcery that has the same name as another instant or sorcery in your graveyard. If I can pick this up and then maybe free roll another Squash into my deck, that'd be awesome. It's probably just okay as it is. I already have 1 hit for it, which is not a huge deal, but is pretty decent. I think it's going to be the pick here, though. Inga Rune Eyes. Oh, Inga Rune Eyes with Battle of Frost and Fire seems great, but I'm going to take Behold the Multiverse. Ooh, there's also Masked Vandal and another Mistwalker. Behold seems really good as just a way to kind of refuel. If Frostpire Arcanist could get any kind of card, I would probably take Mistwalker here. It's probably right to just take Mistwalker anyway. What's my card draw situation looking like? I do have Glimpse. I'm going to take this Mistwalker. Inga Rune Eyes also intrigues me. No, I think I want the first draw spell over the second copy of that. Coil, we're not playing. Demon Bolt. Demon Bolt seems excellent. At just 3 mana, deal 4 to a creature, this would already be very good, and then it has Foretell as well. Another Surtland Frostpire could be a pick here, but we don't want too many tap lands. We might not get there on the green stuff. I haven't seen any way to really fix for that. Oh, that's not what I want. I want the Demon Bolt. Oh, Giant's Amulet, awesome. Bind the Monsters, unfortunately not a hit for Frostpire Arcanist. This is pick 6, so I have 2 more picks to potentially pick up like another Behold or another Squash. I'm going to take Giant's Amulet. This is a 5 mana 4/5 hexproof while it's untapped, and then you can re-equip to give that ability to another creature. Kind of cool with Mistwalker as well. Easy pick though. Guess my deck's a little bit on the expensive side. I don't think I want Cinderheart Giant. That's not where we're at. I don't think this deck wants Funeral Longboat. Smash and Success. I have another one. No, I don't have another Smash and Success. I am just going to take Snow-Covered Plains. Yeah, I'll just take this creature I'm not going to play. Another one of these. Another mountain. So I don't think we're going to get there on the multi-spelling. Should just take another Surtland Frostpire. I'm probably not playing Lijara Mirrorwake or Morite. Vault Robber. Create a treasure token. I already know this isn't going to matter for us. I'll take another Frostpire. The Trickster God's Heist Wield. That's a powerful card. I'll take a Disdainful Stroke. I'm not going to play 2 Disdainful Strokes on my main board. I'll just take an uncommon for the vault. Oh, Mists of Lijara. Alright, the wheels are looking pretty bad here. This, unfortunately, not another hit for Frostpire. Craven Hulk number 3. Probably don't want to play that many Craven Hawks. Okay, we'll take another Depart the Realm. I could also take a Dwarven Reinforcements, as it's another spell that works with Dwarven. I'm sorry, with Frostpire Arcanist, but this card's not exactly great anyway. I just take the bounce spell. Alright, so we kind of ended up in blue-red wizards, or giants, rather. We don't have a amazing deck by any means, and our curve is kind of crazy bad. I guess it's not that bad. So this is actually 40 cards as it is. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And let me just go through real quick and see if there's any reason at all to play Snow. I believe there are 0 reasons in my deck I should be playing Snow. And if that is the case, I actually think you're not supposed to play Snow. The reason being that there is exactly 1 rare in the entire set that punishes you for having snow lands. And even though that's like such a minor thing to potentially come up, I would rather not risk it since there's 0 chance that comes up if I don't run the Snowlands. If I had even 1 card in my deck that cared about snow mana, then I would probably change my mind. But I don't, so here we go. I do have a blue-white pathway. I picked up no other mana fixin'. I'm not going to get there on any of the splashes, unfortunately. I've got like a lot of off-color cards here that would be really cool to play, but none of them are going to work out for us. So we're going to be sticking to blue-red. Back to the curve. This is 40 cards. This can be foretold. This can be foretold. And this can be foretold. I'm putting them here because that's the earliest you would ever cast these cards. Dwarven Reinforcements plus Doomscar Titan is nice. I think this deck is going to have some trouble actually closing out a game is kind of the problem. Mistwalker number 2 would have been really nice. Although Squash number 2 would have been fantastic. If I could pick up a second Squash, I'd feel a lot happier, but we didn't quite get there. Because I do think I'm going to play this Frostpire Arcanist, as I have 3 copies of this card, even though this isn't the best spell to have 3 copies of. Maybe Surtland Frostpire is also decent, and I don't think there's just anything else in color that I really want to play that bad. Seize the Spoil seems pretty poor, and I can't play any of these other cards, so we're stuck with what we've got here. We did pick up an awesome rare, and we have a little bit of synergy going on, but it's going to be hard for us to close out games and deal with some of the more bomby bombs, but we've got what we've got. We've got some interaction, bounce spells, counter spells, removal spells, and a couple creatures that can close out the game. We hope that's going to be good enough. So that's going to do it for the draft. Thanks for watching, as per usual, and I probably want to go up another island, right? I want to go up an island, down a mountain, just because all my stuff early on cast 1. I mean, this is a 5-drop. Just a lot of 5-drops. This is regularly going to be a 4-drop. Squash should be a 2-drop pretty often. My curve looks probably something along these lines instead of what it auto puts, because these are when I'm going to be casting these spells. But let's try it out. We've got blue-red Giants. Probably not the best version that we could have had of blue-red Giants because we did pass all those Frostbites early on. But the rare was a nice pickup in the 3rd pack. So that's going to do it for the draft. We will go ahead and jump into the matches, and I will see you all in match number 1. All right, here we are against Benthos. These are not the cards I want to see when I'm on the draw. They can't block alone, so I'll play them pretty often. That being said, I can kind of stave off early aggression pretty nicely with these 2 cards, so I'm obviously going to lead off with Surtland Frostpire. I don't even necessarily mind drawing extra lands right now because I have plenty to do with my mana. They played an Immerstern Skullkarn, which at some point later in the game will turn into 3 damage. Ooh, nice. So we are going to have to use a little bit of our stuff early on to stave the early aggression, I think, but this should be able to mop up against them if they don't play any giants. They could be playing things like Craven Hulk. My question here is, do I foretell the Demon Bolt, or do I just hold up the Mists and then cast the Demon Bolt next turn? I think that's probably right. Hold off as much damage as possible. So we'll probably go like turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. If they attack, I think I'm going to let the 2 through. Although, yeah, I'm going to let the 2 through, and then whatever creature they play after combat, I'll use the Mists on. And they did nothing, so I think I'm just going to pass. I don't really want to miss this thing since there's a decent chance they just activate the ability anyway. It does make me wish I had Foretold instead, but no such luck. Let's go ahead and red here. And now I can just hold up Demon Bolt. I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn. If they attack with the cavalry, I'll take it again. And then post-combat, we'll probably do something. Good chance they're playing cards like this, as I just said. They're going to combat again, though. No blocks. I'll take my lumps. And I will go ahead and just cast this now, and then play a Craven Hulk on my turn. That seems fine to me. Yeah. Is that right? Is that what I want to do? They're probably holding a Demon Bolt of their own, or a bunch of removal would make sense here. The thing is, I don't want to cast the Mists on this creature, and then they just start giving other things haste, and I fall behind that way. So let's see if we can just kill it here. Hopefully they don't have Village Rites. Oh, look at that, Village Rites. Punished. Well, I'm going to play a 4/4. It's fine. It can't block right now, but it's okay. Do need to draw a 5th land and also not have my opponent play haste creatures here. Alright, if they had a Demon Bolt, they chose not to play it there, which seems weird, so I doubt they have a Demon Bolt. Carfell Kennelmaster. It's a decent card. It is a decent card. Alright, so I could just kill their Carfell Kennelmaster, attack them for 4. I could get a little bit more mileage out of this, of course. Alternatively, I can attack and just play another Carven Hulk. I am 1 mana. I should probably just use this right away. Yeah, I'm going to use this and start getting the value off of it. I'm going to feel a little foolish if my opponent just follows up with like some Super Bomb. But this is a removal spell that gives me a lot of value later on as well. As much as I want to get another creature down, I guess I could attack and try to trade as well. I should just use my mana efficiently here, though. So this is going to deal 4 to all non-giants. I guess I should have checked to make sure that's not a giant. Attack them for 4. Next turn I scry. Scry 3, that's a lot. Looking for a 6th land so I can play a 4-drop and one of my other 2-mana spells. They can activate this kind of whenever they want. It does mean I'm at 3 mana lower than it shows at any given point. So this gets a counter whenever they activate a boast ability. Depart the Realm seems pretty good. Oh, actually, Depart the Realm is awesome. And I'll tell you why here in just a second. I do want to hit my land Oh, this is going to get a Depart the Realm. I'm going to put this Craven Hulk on the bottom and then I think draw these as such. So Depart the Realm can actually bounce this and I can just wipe the board again. I should attack for 4, I assume. And then go Foretell plus just hold up a spell. Oh, I already drew. I guess I misjudged when I was going to draw these cards. All right. My opponent does have to do something. This can't block, though, so I'm going to attack with it. Feed the Serpent. That's probably okay. And the Serpent has been fed. And I'm going to go... I guess I could Glimpse, guarantee that I hit this. I want to keep up Mists, I suppose. Although I don't need to keep up Mists. If I go Depart, so I can go Glimpse here and then Depart, hold it up just in case my opponent does something really bad, and then just bounce this back and wipe their board again. Could go poorly for me, but I think it's okay. A little awkward that I'm putting these cards on the bottom, even though I just scryed them to the top, but I misjudged what I was going to draw. Obviously, I had already drawn the card for turn, I believe. I screwed something up, let's just put it that way. So we are going to Foretell. And the intention here is to bounce my Battle of Frost and Fire back to my own hand. Hopefully they play a couple small creatures that die to it. If things go very poorly, I'll just Depart the Realm, something of theirs. They also know I have these Surtland Frostpyre, so they can't add too many small creatures to the board. That's okay by me. I think I'll actually get rid of the Craven Hulk. Opponent's being kind of smart here by not using that, and I guess the question now is, do I actually want to do this? I can cast Craven Hulk. Okay, let's go ahead and discard Craven Hulk. I'm not going to get full value off of this, but I am going to be able to trigger this last part. Oh no, it has to be mana cost 5 or greater. Do I want to bounce Battle of Frost and Fire back to my hand? Probably. I get to draw first though, right? So I want to go to my turn. I want to go full control. Okay. Or not, I guess. Or I just won't do that. That's very weird that I didn't get that option. I just trade Frostpyre here for their 2/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I suppose so. This has Scry 2 attached to it as well, which is pretty nice. It's a little annoying. I hit full control, but didn't quite work out. I don't know if Breakneck Berserker is amazing here. I do need to get some creatures on board, but I'd rather them be good ones. This does mean I'm going to draw a counterspell next turn. I need to draw something to put on board. Maybe the 3/2 is probably decent there, but who knows. Like I said, we can probably control the board just fine. It's a little annoying that I don't have a lot of ways to actually what am I trying to say here? You know what I'm trying to say. Maybe. I don't have great ways to close out the game. Let's just put it that way. Oh yeah, Glimpse to the bottom. So I'm going to play this and I am going to Glimpse. Giant's Amulet seems strong. I think I just need to take that and hope that they don't have the card that makes me discard 2 cards, the Skull, whatever it's called. That would be very unfortunate. So this thing gets Menace and 2 +1/+1 counters whenever you cast your second spell each turn. So there's a decent chance I get hit by it, but I could always put a Mists on it. And they would have to have exactly 2 cards here, which they do not have. Quite nice. So I'm going to keep this in hand for the exact reason I just mentioned. and play a Giant's Amulet. I guess I can do that after combat. They hit me for 3 if they double spell, but it doesn't really look like they can do that. Depart the Realm, pretty cool with Giant's Amulet. I can bounce the Amulet back and replay the Giant's Amulet to make another token. So I guess the way we want to do this in case they interact is we want to go ahead and play this first and then pay the mana when it enters the battlefield. Not sure what exactly could go wrong by doing it the other way, but we will not tap our mana preemptively. Let's go ahead and auto pay, and I'll pass the turn again. So we have a 4/5 hexproof, but it's only hexproof while it's untapped. And again, I don't think my opponent's... Oh, that's a good card that could double spell. They must have something like super reactive that they're hesitant to cast right now. But they should probably go for it, right? It just puts extra power on board. They're going to go for Squash for the full price. This is going to hit me for 3 this turn. Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and miss this, I think. It could get a little bit bigger if they double spell again. Bind the monster. I probably want to put this on this, right? And then if they double spell, they hit me for 2, but that's okay. This taps the creature. They did get their creatures out of Circling Frostpire range. Yeah, let's go ahead and tap that. Attack for 4. I could make another 4/5 here, but I think I can afford to play a little defensively. So if they double spell, the Blood Sky Berserker becomes a 2/5, which is actually kind of annoying because I can't attack through it quite as well. Disdainful Stroke might not be great here. Probably okay. I'm gonna attack. They did not chump. And I kind of want to go for the Depart the Realm and then replay this, and then I can hold up Disdainful Stroke, right? So that's 1 mana to bounce it, 5 more, and then I can have up Disdainful Stroke, and then I have 2 4/5s on board. It's probably worth going for. There are a lot of things that kind of get underneath my my Disdainful Stroke, but that's okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Bounce Giant's Amulet. And then replay Giant's Amulet. This puts them in a position where they have to chump next turn if they don't have anything else going on. And Disdainful Stroke doesn't protect me from everything, but it protects me from a decent amount here. Okay. I like to see land. Oh, that is amazing. We're just casting that straight up. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste, so I'm going to attack them with 3 5-power creatures here. They have like Feed the Serpent or something. Doesn't quite do it. Let's go ahead and jam. Alright, so played out kind of how we envisioned it, where we're okay at controlling the board, and we're not great at closing out a game. But we can play defense just fine. We did draw the Saga. The Saga is really good. We're going to pick up our first win, though, and we'll jump right on into match number 2, so I'll see you there. Alright, we are back against Gotrek Gunnarsson. Okay, sure. We have a very awkward hand because we don't have a 3rd mana, but I'm going to keep it. Seems okay. We're going to foretell something on turn 2. I don't know what it is. Maybe this. Our opponent is... There's just a decent chance that your opponents are going to foretell things on their turn 2 as well. So if you're on the play, it's somewhat safe to do so without getting super punished. I obviously want to hit my third land. That might be a better one to foretell, I suppose. I guess this one might actually be better because it gives me board presence. It's not an awesome card, but it's okay. Get some creatures on board. Hopefully hit my third land. Beskir Shieldmate. Well, that matches up very well against my Dwarven Reinforcements, and I also did not hit a land. So let's go ahead and just play this. Black-white is the, like, double spell colors. If I draw a third land, it might just be a right to cast Mistwalker. This card blocks particularly well. If they attack, I'll block with one of my dwarves. I think my deck just really wants to not die. Story Seeker, 2/2 lifelink. Oh, come on, game. Well, what are we putting in? I guess we're going to put the Demon Bolt in now. And just not draw our third land, I suppose. Blocking Story Seeker if it attacks here. Oh, green mana. You're going to probably see 3-color decks pretty often in this format. There are some absolutely nutty gold cards. I mean, if they go to, like, what is it? Binding of the Old Gods, kill your 2/1, then sure, I probably just start dying. That's okay, I think. I'm going to block this and then probably Demon Bolt this Story Seeker, which I know doesn't feel great, but you do what you got to do. Another Story Seeker. Oh my god, game. Alright, well, we're going to bind the little one and Demon Bolt the big one. And we're really just trying to keep things off of our back right now. Doing this all at sorcery speed. A, because I have to for binding the monsters, and B, I just don't want to get blown out by a combat trick. I can't afford to at this point. Could also just not cast our spells, I suppose. Third land kind of has to come this following turn, I think. Or else I'm pretty much too far behind. This mills each player for 3 when it dies. It's 3/1 lifelink. Jaspara Sentinel. Depart the Realm. This really is not a particularly fun way to showcase either player's deck. I can depart, I guess. It doesn't really do anything. I might as well just put another card in Foretell. Alright, have your way with me, opponent. I think I'm too far behind. I need to somehow stabilize, and also my opponent needs to not add a lot to the board. Okay, Elven Bow is not super powerful. Mistwalker does a pretty good job on this board. I'm taking 5 this turn. Okay, we drew our third land. Might not matter. I can play a 3/2 or I can play a 1/4. The 3/2 can potentially block this. The 1/4 holds off the other ones but makes me take 4. I think I'm just supposed to play this. I guess I could play Mistwalker and then next turn I have Squash up. So I'm kind of accepting that I'm going to take 4. Let's go ahead and get the Giant down. Seems like the best bet here. And hope they just can't kill it. If they have a removal spell, then we almost certainly lose this game. They're looking at their graveyard. They potentially have get 2 creatures with the same creature type back. These don't overlap at all. They could also have other stuff. There's like Shepherd of the Cosmos. Is there green or white stuff that deals 3 damage? I'm going to block here. I'm not about taking extra damage right now. Oh, they could have the Jarl. The thing that finishes off a creature that was dealt damage. Opponent's also at 33 life. Alright. Oh, Stalwart Valkyrie. Sure. Okay, so we get to untap. I really need another land, though, for this to come together. Because if I can squash something... Oh, they have something else they can cast, too. Oh, they're moving equipment. Sure. God, what in the world? So this is 2 mana to activate. I'm going to squash this, right? So I can't really afford to do anything else. I have to just block. Or I have to pass. This is not pleasant because my hand actually matches up pretty well against them at this point. I just have only drawn 3 lands in my top 14 cards. Granted, I kept 2 of them, but you're... I don't know. Oh, yes, please, please, please go for the fight spell. Let's see what the attack looks like. Alright, let's go ahead and squash. Okay, the squash worked. The squash worked. I still need to kind of draw some stuff here. Rune of Sustenance, that cycles, so it's just fine. They probably should have put it on the equipment, though. Score an FG 2-3, so just a bunch of bodies on board. And this is how much to equip? 3. Alright, we drew another land, so... Still not quite there. I could just play a 4-4 that blocks. Like, that's probably my best bet. It doesn't feel like their last card in hand is currently anything amazing. I can foretell... I could hold up a counter spell here and put another card in foretell. What's the attack look like here? I block here. I take 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've just got to play my 4-4 and pass the turn. Make their attacks really bad. And just hope that they don't top deck some nonsense on me. Again, removal spell kills me because they can kill my Mistwalker. And then Craven Hold can't block at all. I do like this. If I can trade Craven Hulk off for the 4-3. Oh, I can't block alone, though, so I have to double block. I guess I didn't think about that. Oh, they have interaction as well? No, that makes sense to me. So each player mills 3. They put Vorinclex in their graveyard. Cool. I need them to quit adding to the board, but they kind of keep doing that. Maybe they just equip here? That would be nice. Did we see why they were looking at the graveyard? We didn't. Oh, God, come on. I really, really, really needed that to be something. I feel like I can't. I have to play a creature. They're going to get back Vorinclex and attack me. Is that what's happening here? It'd be 2 mana, so they can't actually do that next turn unless they could play a land and use Jaspera Sentinel. So I think I just have to play this and get no value off of it. I guess alternatively I can foretell this. I can actually cast this straight up and hold up a counter spell. It means I'm taking a little bit of damage here. But I don't really have much of a luxury to do anything else. I can't block, so I could play this. Yeah, okay, let's just play this. Yeah. Feels like my opponent has a way to get a creature back from their graveyard, would be my guess. So, yeah, if they have Witchmacallit, they get back Vorinclex. Oh, nope, they would have done it before combat because Vorinclex has haste. You've got to be kidding me with this, though. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and foretell Behold the Multiverse now. And I can keep up Solid Coming or Behold, so if they don't do anything, I can cast Behold and hopefully hit my lands. I am going to foretell it, though, so I can keep up the counterspell. And this is like the 1-2 punch of these cards. I have Stabilized, though. And if my opponent actually had a way to put Vorinclex back in their hand, they would have done so. Looks like they're flooding a little bit, which is exactly what I need them to do. Village Rites, sacking that. Do I counter that? I feel like my counterspell might be a little better than that. Alright, if they do nothing, I'm going to go ahead and Behold here. Scry 2, draw 2. Do I just want to draw both of these? At this point, I think 1 is enough. I drew a billion of them anyway. Okay, there was just a million lands in a row there. All right, what now? I want to keep this up pretty much no matter what, so I'm going to play a 3-2 and keep up Saw It Coming. And we'll just pass. Opponent at 37 life. They somehow only have 14 cards left in their library. Have we really seen that many cards? I guess so. Another pass here I'm okay with. All right, Giant's Amulet is going to be good on a later turn. I have another land, so I can't attack through this 3/5 yet, but I can play another Craven Hulk and keep up my interaction. Just play to the board right now, counter anything that really messes with me too bad. And then at some point start attacking. Like this coming down in a later turn is going to be pretty good. Opponent has definitely flooded, which is exactly what I needed to be in this game. We're just Craven Hulk Tribal at this point. So best way to play this turn is to go ahead and Giant's Amulet. Still can't attack. I could attack with 2 4/4s here, because this can't attack through this. I'm going to play a 4/5. They can double block, though, and trade a 1/1 for a Craven Hulk. That's not very good, so let's not do that. Let's just play a Giant's Amulet, make our token, and keep up our counterspell and such. Next turn, we can play the Doomscar Titan and, I guess, start getting in there. I mean, what's in my opponent's hand? They've shown us 11 lands, 12 lands, Clarion Spirit. Okay. Clarion Spirit into spell, makes a 1/1 flyer. Into Masked Vandal, which can take out the Giant's Amulet. I guess I can Depart the Realm, the Giant Amulet, but I might need the Depart the Realm. So I think I'm actually going to counter the Masked Vandal. Or, no. God, this is close, because I don't want to die to a Spirit and an Elven Bow on it, right? So I think I'm just going to counter the Masked Vandal. Still got to deal with the Spirit, though. It's going to get a little dicey here. It's a little dicey. Another Depart the Realm's okay. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Get as many creatures on board as possible before this Doomscar Titan. I could go Foretell, Foretell. That would leave me with 3 mana up. And then Foretell again. I guess alternatively I can go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Craven Hulk and then Depart the Realm into the Foretell zone. That's probably okay too. And then I'm planning on bouncing the Spirit token, which is kind of dorky. Should probably be attacking a little bit more right now, but I can't afford to do too much else. My opponents not have a lot of lands left in their deck. I need them to kind of go in on that. Old Growth Troll is a card. Is an excellent card. Here goes Elven Bow here. And I am going to bounce the Spirit. I just don't want to take the 2 damage. If they have another spell, they can make another Spirit with the Clarion. This is what? +1/+2 in reach. Drawing 4 damage to each non-giant would be incredible right now. It would kill everything except for this Disdainful Stroke, huh? So if I go Doomscar, I guess we're at parity right now. So I can just afford to foretell this and foretell depart the realm. Keep up disdainful stroke. And next turn, if I draw like a small creature, I can go that plus Doomscar Titan. And I think at any point, if we draw the 4 damage to each non-giant, we're in good shape. This is not a giant, interestingly. Ooh, foretell themselves. What would they rather foretell right now instead of cast? Probably something like an instant, an interactive instant would be my guess. Okay, not a great draw there. Not a great draw at all. I guess I keep it in hand, though, because I do have a potential way to loot it later on. I have another one of these in my deck as well. So this is probably Doomscar Giant turn. And I attack with this. I attack with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures. I have 2 blockers left. Go block, block. That's 2, 3, 4 damage. You can go for something this turn. Alright. They didn't have interaction there. So attack, 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 attack for sure. And then probably leave the hexproof thingy back as just another decent blocker. Their only really good block is the Old Growth Troll. They can put Scorn Effigy and a 1/1 on a Craven Hulk to kill it, but I actually get to kill the Scorn Effigy this way. This is pretty free block because they can just sacrifice the land to put another 4/4 into play. But we got to work on their life total because they got a lot of it. All right, they're going to take 15 and trade off the Troll and then make another Troll, I guess. Could bounce this back to my hand, I suppose, but we're not going to do that. This is a big chunk. They're still above 20. They just took 15 and they're still above 20. The good news about making this happen is we did get a big chunk in, and again, if we draw our Saga, now it kind of permanently kills this thing. So let's, yep, they know to activate it right away. And shaboom, you got a 4/4. Can bounce this if I need to. They still don't have good attacks. I've got a counterspell for an expensive spell, which they might have. Death Knell Berserker does not change things too much here. It does mean if they put the Elven Bow on it, it can die into a 2/2, but I don't think that's going to change things too much. Ooh, what's going on here? Is it only game 2? Struggle for Skimfar. That does make them a spirit token, so I can do a couple things here. I think I'm just going to Disdainful Stroke it. I could bounce it, but then they do have this stupid 1/1 on board, and I might need to depart the realm it, so I'm going to counter the struggle. I'm going to eventually try to deal with the spirit token, but I'm going to give myself a couple turns here to draw the Battle of Frost and Fire, which I think would probably just win me this game straight up. It kills everything my opponent controls, and they would be left with a 2/2. Yeah. All right, let's do it. So, yeah, this kills this, this, and then they're left with a 2/2, and we probably just win the game from there. Kerplow. All in. All right. All in. There's a lot of board wipes in this format for what it's worth. There's like 2 black board wipes. There's a Doomscar. There's this thing. There's a lot going on. Elven Bow here. I wonder if I should just bounce this and not put myself to 3. I'm not sure what could happen. Is there a black spell that deals 3? Let's go ahead and bounce that just to be sure. Keep myself at 6. Battlefield Raptor. And we get to scry 3 here. Look for any sort of other interaction. I mean, what can my opponent possibly have? Famous last words, I know, but are they thinking about something, or are they mising us right now? Oh my god. Is this happening? Are we doing this, opponent? Interesting deck. Feels like it would be better as just a green-white deck. Like, this doesn't add very much to the deck. Village Rites is actually pretty decent. Coma's Faithful didn't look particularly good. Okay, our opponent's going to mise us. Not sure exactly why. I guess they're salty about the Battle of Frost and Fire, but sure. We'll just wait it out together. Or I might skip it in post-production. Who knows? And by post-production, I mean the 10 minutes it takes me to look through the video and edit out anything that needs to be edited out. Good time to talk about overperformers and underperformers. Given that we got stuck on 2 lands for a very long time this game, I'm surprised we didn't die. In fact, I'm not entirely sure how we didn't die, because our opponent played creatures. I mean, this is how we won. Easily the best card in our deck. We actually don't get to trigger this last clause very much. We don't have a lot in our deck that costs 5 or more. We've got a lot of 4s. I don't know. I wish I could report people who do stuff like this, because it's a waste of my time and a waste of their time. But, you know, I guess you are allowed to waste your own time, right? I mean, it is your time. You can do with it what you will, but I don't know. It feels like it's a little childish, I guess is the word, to waste my time. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and entertain the thought that our opponent disconnected at the very last minute, but I think they good gamed me because it was actually a good game, and then I good gamed them back after I killed their creature, and for some reason now they're just really salty, and they're punishing me by making me wait. So if that's what you want to do, then stop, I guess. If you're one of those people who does that, then, you know, maybe be a little bit more mature. Accept a loss when it happens and don't do stuff like this. It's demeaning. It's not useful. And that's my rant. Now listen to the car alarm going on outside my window. Okay, we're back. My last round opponent successfully wasted 2 to 3 minutes of my life there, and if that makes them feel better, then who am I to say they don't do stuff like that? That puts us at 2-0. We're already slogging along, so let's go ahead and cut this short and jump into match number 3. See you there. All right, we are back against Hell, I suppose. Probably going to glimpse on turn 2, looking for our 3rd land. Hopefully we actually draw some lands this time. Could be right to foretell. It's probably actually right to just cast the 1/3, and then my spells are cheaper anyway. So let's go ahead and ship the turn. Guess blue into Giant's Amulet is kind of like later on in the format. That'll be a little bit of a tell that you have Giant's Amulet in your hand. Let's go and play Karfell Harbinger. Spend this mana only to foretell a card from your hand. So it doesn't actually let you cast the foretold card unless it's an instant or sorcery with the blue mana. It lets you exile the card. So next turn we should be able to do both, provided we find our 3rd mana. Has to specifically be blue, right? No, not necessarily. Let's see what happens here. I might actually want this to block. Who knows? Might just naturally draw my 3rd land and not really want to go out of my way to dig too much. You do want to get this in your graveyard sooner than later, though, for sure, because then you might have a turn where you go like play a giant, cast this during the same turn. Opponent is going to foretell. I drew my 3rd land, so I think what I want to do here is glimpse and attack. I could glimpse and then foretell. That might be better than getting 1 point of damage, right? So why don't we go ahead and glimpse here first. I'll go ahead and take Mistwalker. It might be better than Craven Hulk. I can guarantee cast this next turn. I can't necessarily cast Craven Hulk. I also want my 4th land, so this is a little bit rough. I think too many things go poorly if I try to go down the Craven Hulk line, so I'll just take the guaranteed 3-drop, and we will go ahead and foretell this card. Opponent also not playing Snowlands. They might not have drafted one, though, for what it's worth. Or, I guess, that doesn't even make sense to say. They might have Snowlands and they just haven't drawn any. To Scary Firewalker, this is a 3/2. You can boast it to exile the top card of your library. It's okay. I cannot use this mana to Giant's Amulet, otherwise I would in a heartbeat. So I'm going to go ahead and Mistwalker here. And this actually lets me hold up Depart the Realm, which is kind of nice. Oh, I can Glimpse. I do have to tap this to do it. Huh. I didn't really think about that. I already played my land this turn. Let's go ahead and pass. Hold up Depart the Realm in case my opponent wants to go for something cheeky here. If they attack, I will double block. If they want to use a combat trick, I'm pretty well set up to deal with that. They can activate this, of course. They're going to Foretell, which means they're probably not attacking, because they will no longer be able to use the top card. Raven for my 1/4. I might just be okay with the 1/1 here. Is this an instant? Is there a reason it's lighting up right now? It's not an instant. I don't think I want to depart here. I think I'm just going to accept the 1/1, although that gets rid of my giant, I suppose, is what's happening here. Yeah, this is fine. The 1/1's not negligible. Okay. I think I'm actually quite happy with that. I'll play Craven Hulk, and I'll hold up Depart with the Carfell Harbinger. And I suppose I can even just attack with this 1/1 bird. And pass. If my opponent attacks just kind of blindly, then we can interact. I could have cast Glimpse there and just accepted my opponent's attack, but I'd rather them not get free value out of this if I could avoid it. Did they miss a land drop last turn? I think they did, right? 1/1 bird is like an actual thing in Limited. I don't think you should be giving your opponent a 1/1 bird unless you're getting rid of something very good. They downgraded my 1/4 flyer into a 1/1 flyer, and that's just not that good. Okay, yeah, I think my opponent missed land drops, right? They're going to choose me. Fine by me. Give me whatever you see fit. They put another Craven Hulk in the graveyard. That's fine by me also, because I kind of just want to draw blue mana. Demon Bolt, very nice. So we're going to foretell that. And we're just going to go attacking here. I might Glimpse looking for Island. Yeah, let's go ahead and Glimpse first. Ooh, Surtland Frostpire is really good. Blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would need to draw another island to be able to activate it, but it does kill my opponent's 2 creatures. This is a tough one. Doomscar Titan, also very good. Lays on a lot of pressure here, too, when my opponent's behind. I think I just want this Frostpire, though. So much upside if it kills my opponent's creatures. Kills my bird, though. My bird's actually relevant. So I think there is some merit to take an island. I think I'm just going to take Doomscar Titan. I know that's a little questionable, but that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and attack with these two. My opponent wants to double block Craven Hulk. They can. And then we will foretell Demon Bolt. Oh, I was going to say I'd be extremely happy with the double block. And I get to hold up both Depart the Realm and Demon Bolt here. So I'm probably going to Demon Bolt this to Scary Firewalker before combat, and then hold up Depart the Realm, and just take my 3 if my opponent wants to attack with the Thought Thief. Yeah, let's go ahead and Demon Bolt Firewalker. I don't want them using this ability if I can avoid it. Can help them find lands when they're in a little bit of a rut. And you may attack me for 3, my friend. Accept. What do we add into the board next? Question mark. Raven form my 1/1. I think I'm okay with it. I'll just take my 1/1 birds and I'll just kill them with my 1/1 birds instead. Okay, that's a good draw. So we can go... I can either just play Giant's Amulet and make my creature, or I can foretell this and this. If I play... Oh, I can't cast Doomscar Titan, right? So I want to foretell this. I suppose I actually just want to make this, right? How do they interact with it? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just cast Giant's Amulet and attack for 3. I'll attack for 2, that way I can keep up Depart the Realm. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and attack with the 2 birds. We'll play Giant's Amulet, and we'll keep up Depart the Realm with our Karfell Harbinger. Harbinger looking pretty good here. Kind of disguising the fact that I have a spell I can cast, even though it's kind of a bit of a dead giveaway, since it keeps giving me priority. Dwarven Reinforcements, not super worried about that, I don't think. Matches up pretty poorly against Raven forms. Into Dragonkin Berserker, that actually is a really good card. But if they want to spend their next turn making a dragon, I suppose I'm okay with it. Cast Doomscar if I draw a land, which I did. So we go Doomscar, attack with everything but Harbinger. This thing has first strike, not a big deal. Alright. Cast Doomscar Titan, give everything +1/+0 in haste. Attack with everything but this, just basically shouting at my opponent, hey, I have Depart the Realms. Do something about it. This is 14 coming in. They have to block at least 1 creature here. This doesn't have trample, does it? No. Okay, they're going to double block Doomscar Titan. Fine by me. I'm not going to Depart the Realm. Still get to chonk them for 7, put them down to 3. Like, they have to go land and use their entire turn to make a 5/5 flyer here with Dragonkin Berserker. And then they're just dead, right? Because I bounce the dragon, attack with everything. They can only block this. They take 3. So if they go for that line, they're dead. They did not go for that line, although I think they're still dead now because I can just bounce their other 2 creatures and this can't block. So let's go ahead and do exactly that. They got a little bit mana screwed this game. Raven form, I hope this has shown you why Raven form isn't excellent. There are probably times where you want to cast Raven form, especially if you have foretell payoffs. But I just started hitting them with their flyers. All right, pick up our 3rd win there. And opponent's deck really didn't come together there, but they did kind of fail to hit their 4th land on time. So they were a little limited by their options. I also missed my 4th land, but we ended up drawing it the turn after. So what does this put us at? 3-0. Games are going a little bit slowly, but we're going to keep on trekking up the ladder here, and I'll see you all in match number 4. All right, we're against the Straight Killa, and we have an awkward hand, although, again, Glimpse can help us find our 3rd land into potentially turn 3 Berserker, turn 4 Hulk. Seems decent. This Berserker, I would love to switch this out for another one of those Mistwalkers. That would be just the most colossal upgrade I can think of to a deck like this. Oh, they have a 1-drop? Oh, Battlefield Raptor. Sure. Battlefield Raptor is fine. I suppose I want to just Glimpse. Yeah, I'll go ahead and Glimpse here. I will take the battle. That could get me in a game that I fall behind in here. Craven Hulk into Battle of Frost and Fire is kind of pretty good. I hope they just load up things on this Raptor. Yeah. Although this makes a 1/1 spirit when it leaves the battlefield. All right, they're going to Voltron me with this Raptor, but that's okay. Might actually just bounce it. All right, let's go and attack them for 3 here. We can race if you want to. We can leave our friends behind. So this makes a spirit token whenever the creature leaves the battlefield. This gives +1/+1 and deals damage to the defendant player whenever you block it. Hit me for 3. I will hit you back for 3. I will play a Craven Hulk. So we're racing here, and I think I have the better upside. I kind of want to hold off on this because I want to get that spirit token too, so I might just take another chunk here and then use Depart the Realm to get rid of this. Gold Maw Champion's fine. Not too big a deal. Hit me for 3. Like, I can also just squash. Do this. So I probably want to go foretell this, squash this on their turn, and then have Depart the Realm ready to go and Battle of Frost their board. Because I'm going to attack with both here. Yeah. See if they want to trade for the Breakneck Berserker. Fine by me, because that was going to die to the Battle of Frost anyway. Chunk them. I'm actually just winning the race anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and foretell Depart the Realm. Pass the turn. I will squash this raptor before attacks. No, I guess I'll let you attack. What could go wrong here? Is there a way to give like +3/+3 or something? Or extra toughness? Squash the battlefield raptor. Okay, so they're going to make a spirit token. They foretold a card. Interesting. Tormentor's Helm on the spirit. Could just bounce this. I don't even have to use this battle. This Frost and Fire thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and glimpse right away and get Mistwalker over Disdainful Stroke. Play this. Attack for 4. Play Mistwalker. Oh, what is this? Block, really? It's like Doomscar or something. Would they be playing Doomscar? They are a bronze player. Not that that's like super relevant. I guess I can just foretell this instead and not play into a board wipe. They block pretty quickly there. I guess they figure they're not winning the race anyway. Oh, Raptor number 2. Let's go. Let's do this. You got it? This is probably really good against their deck. So, I guess I could just Frost and Fire this thing, right? Yeah. I'm going to Frost and Fire your Raptor and attack for 4. I will play Surtland Frostfire and just keep up Depart. Can't do anything else anyway. I wonder what this is. Apparently it's worse than a Battlefield Raptor because they chose to do that instead. This card has been so good, even though it's been kind of like just 5 mana kill a creature. Crush the Weak to deal 2 damage to each creature, and then they're going to like Frostbite my Craven Hulk, and I'm going to let that happen. Code Spell Cleric. Wow, that was just to get a counter on Code Spell Cleric. Okay, you made a 2/2. I guess a 3/3. Looking for Doomscar, which I think I put on the bottom, so he can't hit that. Scry to the bottom, and that should shore things up here. I could bounce this back. There's no reason I've got the counter spell here. Oh, that was only that was only number 2 anyway. Let's go ahead and play Dwarven Reinforcements. Play. Nah, we don't even need to do anything else. Again, Doomscar off the top could put him in a different position, so no point in playing into Doomscar if you don't have to. Alrighty. We are what, 4-0? 4-0. Our deck feels good. It feels a lot better than it looked when we originally saw it. Ooh, Feed the Serpent. It's nice. 4-0. That means we're almost even on gems, even though we paid coins. We don't have to talk about that. And we'll go and keep it on moving. This will be, what, match number 5 coming up next. We are back against Crimson Zodiac. I like that name. We have a okay curve of 3-4. I'm probably gonna. This is awkward. We'll see if we draw an untapped land before we get to turn 3, because I probably want to just suspend this on turn 2, quote unquote suspend. But I also just want to cast my Mistwalker on turn 3. We can do that on a later turn. Let's prioritize making sure we have a 3-drop next turn, because it's not like we're casting this anytime soon, even if we do foretell it. Black-white, Beskir Shieldmate, sure. We will go ahead and play a Mistwalker. Pass the turn. Such a good blocker. This thing dies into a 1/1 human warrior. Fine card. There is probably nothing you can say bad about this card, but Batter Shield Warrior. So when this attacks, they can pay 2 mana to give their creatures +1/+1 for the turn. We are going to... God, this is going to be... These Frostfires are so good against them. We're going to just play Craven Hulk, I think. Because that... Well... Could just hold up Squash and foretell this. Let's see, if I go Craven Hulk and they go kill your Mistwalker, that's pretty bad. So I think I'd actually rather keep up Squash. So we're going to foretell here instead. This also lets me keep up Disdainful Stroke. So if they go like Feed the Serpent or something, or just curve out into a 4-drop, I'll probably just use the Disdainful Stroke. Keep Squash for something else. Hey, you leave my Mistwalker alone. So this is essentially you have to have 6 lands on board to use it. You have to tap it plus 5 others, so we're extra turns away. Just attack with both and use Batter Shield Warrior. So if I block here, that kind of prices them into using the Batter Shield Warrior. And I could squash it in response, right? They could have a combat trick to kill my Mistwalker. It's not the worst thing in the world that would happen. This prevents 3 damage. Okay, doesn't feel like they have anything. Their other creature doesn't die here. But it does tempo them a little bit. Kills their creature. Oh, Stalwart Valkyrie. Ooh, they set us up. You set us up. That also dies to this thing, though. So I think we're just going to get a little dicey here. Play Doomscar Titan, attack for 7. Could also just attack with Doomscar Titan. Keep this on defense since it's a good blocker here. Yeah, I like that. Let's do it. Keep my blocker up. Nice use of the Stalwart Valkyrie. I think we're going to see this card a lot at common. It's pretty strong. Just a very tempo-efficient play or mana-efficient play. Kaya. Okay, well, game over. I guess I should have kept up Disdainful Stroke. That's going to exile... I think they're going to plus, right? Here, I'll let you read Kaya. It's going to be obnoxiously hard to deal with, for what it's worth. Alright, yep, they go for the exile there. Depart the Realm's not bad here. I can kill Kaya right now. I can go Depart the Realm this, pump this, attack for 2. And then keep up Disdainful Stroke. I don't think I want them to get any more value off of this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I could also just depart the realm Kaya. Or I guess I can Disdainful Stroke this on the way back down. No, I can't. I don't have enough white mana or blue mana. I think I'm going to go for that play. Depart. Serves you right for rushing ahead. Okay, sure. Okay, let's bounce this. Let's pump this. And let's just kill Kaya. Not a mana efficient turn, but it is what it is. They also don't have a creature in their graveyard to immediately recast that for 2. But getting Kaya off board is priority. Got rid of my Craven Hulk. Oh, Doomscar Titan, even better. I do have Surtland Frostpire at the ready, so I can kill some 2 toughness creatures. See if they start killing my Mistwalkers, though. And by that I mean my 1 Mistwalker. There was a point in the draft where I had an option to take a 2nd Mistwalker, and I probably should have done so. It just plays very well into my deck. It dodges these Frostpires. It turns on all my giant stuff. Is there a way to get a permanent back from a graveyard in this set? Carful Fennelmaster. Alright, I'll take my 3. Kennelmaster, not Fennelmaster. It's not the Master of Fennel. This isn't bad. That's actually a decent follow-up. Always have a backup plan. You're right. I agree. Just play an expensive spell, please. So I can Disdainful Stroke. Play a 7 mana spell. What a card. What a card. Thankfully, we were able to deal with it in a okay manner. I am going to double block and use the Mists here, and then they're going to play the 3/2 flyer. Maybe if they put Craven Hulk, I just don't even... Like, if they put Craven Hulk first, Sigrid. Exile up to 1 target attacking or blocking creature. Okay, well, this isn't that bad. They're going to get rid of the Craven Hulk, and then I'm going to go ahead and Mists this thing. So my Mistwalker doesn't die. And then... Is this instant speed? It's only sorcery. Oh, that was so bad for them to play that Stalwart Valkyrie. I think they forgot about my land. All right, so I'm gonna get everything, and I'm gonna get my Craven Hulk back. Yeah, I think that was a bad play on the opponent's behalf. They're gonna get a 1/1. They're gonna be left with the Fennelmaster. I think I want to stop drawing Craven Hulks. I'm not even sure I want to draw a Depart the Realm here. I think I can do better than that. Alright, Hulk, back. Do I take 2 and hit them for 1? Nah, I'd rather block here. Ooh, that's really good. Now I wish I had kept the other thing on board. Ooh, do I have a Depart the Realm? I do. So this will go fetch up a Depart the Realm. Should probably just attack with both here, since I'm going to have a really good blocker. And then the less creatures they have to sack to this, the better. I suppose I can attack with just the 4/4. Nice. Nice. Please block with a bunch. Okay, so let's get rid of the 1/4. Could get rid of 2 creatures as well. And then they sack 1 to make the thing. I don't even know that I want to put this in their graveyard. Like if it goes sack, sack, they're basically going to sack 1 to make a angel token. Yeah, this leaves them with 1 body on board. Because they're going to sack 1 to make an angel. And Frostpire Arcanist is going to... Oh, if I could activate this other Frostpire right now, that'd be so good. I'm going to cast this and just go get another Depart the Realm. And that'll deal with the Angel token that they're kind of priced into making. This is sorcery speed only. Yes. Not that it matters too much. This is the point in the game where Mistwalker is going to be really strong, because I can just start pumping mana into this to deal extra damage. I don't know. I mean, I'm always going to have this for this, right? Play Craven Hulk. I guess I can keep up Disdainful Stroke, so I'm going to play Craven Hulk and just pass the turn. Craven Hulk's a good attacker on this board. Opponent is falling behind very quickly. They need another bomb level card. Sigurd and Kaya are both very good, though. Village Rites, that was a good draw for them. That was an excellent draw for them. They basically cashed in a very dorky creature for an extra draw phase, draw step, if you will. And now it seems like they have decisions. I feel like we're going to see them turn that into an angel. They got to make me use the Depart the Realm, right? I don't have anything else to say there. I'm just going to let them think. I always appreciate when people use the thinking emote while they're waiting, so it lets you know that they're not just like timing you out like some people. Lets you click some other stuff, you know, think about your turn. Here's where something like Glimpse would be incredible. Feels like they have something that they can't really safely cast into the Surtland Frostpire, because they were double checking what it did. Oh, they're not going to make an angel, huh? Okay. Behold, the multiverse is strong. So I can go one pump here, attack with everything. This is sorcery speed only, right? Just double check. And then I can foretell this. Yeah, I can attack with everything here. Oh, opponent does have something they can interact with. So they block the 2/5, they take 4 down to 10. And then second main, I go here, here. Foretell this. Pass turn. Okay, they passed their whole last turn without doing anything. I feel like this card has potential to be very, very strong in these sorts of decks. Unfortunately, we had a couple chances to pick up another Squash type card or another Behold the Multiverse, and we bricked on them. Ooh, Infernal Pet's a good one. They have to cast another spell right now to get full value out of it. Iron Verdict, 5 damage to a tapped creature, and then this gets a +1/+1 counter. Okay, that's a pretty good turn of events for them. Kill my big beater. Get that out of range of the Surtland Frostpire. They can attack for 1 here if they want to. Probably should. Coma's Faithful as well. Sure. Okay, they put a bunch of spells on board. They must have had this last turn and chose not to cast it. I'm not sure what happened last turn. Oh yeah, I'm drawing both of these. Then draw for turn. Giant's Amulet too. Kind of embarrassment of riches here. They're not going to be able to double spell easily next turn, so I'm not worried about that. I can get this down pretty cheaply. I think we should go ahead and Glimpse. We're kind of just looking for an island here. Yeah, I'll take that over Craven Hulk at this point. I can do this again. for 1. And then second main, just play it very safe. Go, well, do this first. Glimpse again. Sure. And then foretell the counterspell. And that does kind of make it look like I foretold Depart the Realm, since they already knew about that card. Now they're not sure whether that card's in my hand or this is a different foretell card, so they kind of have to play around Depart the Realm, which I still obviously have. But I feel pretty set up here. I can interact with anything on board. I can counter an expensive spell pretty cheaply. I can counter anything with Saw It Coming. And just nothing happened there, as expected. Another Depart the Realm. Where mana flows, the Gnarlids grow. Okay. So I'm going to go Giant's Amulet here and just attack with Mistwalker for 1. In case you're wondering why I keep tapping this one intentionally, it's just in case they happen to be playing some sort of land destruction, which is very, very unlikely. I would rather not be forced to tap this one down, and I don't think they... Well, that's stupid to hit any lands anyway. Okay, ignore everything I was just saying. None of it matters. None of it matters. At some point, they're going to have to chump attack with this just to gain 3 life. But I feel like I'm pretty well set up to deal with things. Foretell. Like it. Can I kill them? Go bounce, bounce. And then pump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm 1 off from actually killing them. Oh, hello. Or I could just kill your entire board. Okay, never mind. I can kill them. God, this card is so good. What can they even do here through unconditional counterspell? Probably not very much at all. Yep, I agree. Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for the cordial good game, opponent. Boom. And that just gives me the win right now. 3 lands. Egon. That actually would have been a really good draw for them, I think. Cast your spell. Jarl. Yeah. Still deal 4 to him. Oh, actually, I don't have lethal. I do not have lethal. Why did I do that? I should have just countered the Jarl. Oh, don't think it's gonna matter here, but they knew I had Depart the Realm too. They could have recast Jarl. Wouldn't have mattered. Funeral Longbow, I don't think is gonna cut it here, and they scoop. Okie doke. Battle of Frost and Fire claims another one. And apparently we're silver tier. I have not drafted a lot. I finished my Zendikar Rising collection, and then I stopped drafting that set and just kind of built up some coins and gems for the next set. Spoils. 5-0. We haven't dropped a game yet. We're kind of net even on gems, and we'll keep on trucking. Trying to go for the 7-0 now. This will be match 6 coming up next. See you there. All right, we are back for match number 6. We're shaking things up a little bit here. We have more than 2 lands in our opening hand, which makes me kind of nervous. Carful Harbinger can let us cast Squash for 4 if we need to. I'm obviously going to keep this hand, although I wouldn't say it's excellent, and I'm going to lead off with Mountain here to just not give away that we have the Giant's Amulet for anyone who's super savvy. I'm not sure if there's any other 1-mana blue spells that you could even cast on turn 1, but no point giving them the information if they know. I think that's the first tap land we've seen all day, or at least the snow tap lands. Haven't seen a lot of snow stuff going on. We've got a nice little foretell card. Okay, what we did not want to see here was land off the top when we kept our 4-lander. We can squash next turn if it really comes down to it. Ooh, Not Vold Slumber Mound. That's a good one. Seraph's Packmate is a very powerful card. Can Demon Bolt it, though, which is kind of cool. So I think we just foretell Demon Bolt. I suppose I could have attacked there. So at some point, this is going to eat a land and take and make a 4/4, which is a very swingy effect for the late game, especially since I have some utility lands. I'm going to take the 3 here because I might be able to Demon Bolt something better. Looks like blue is the splash here. Wouldn't really play this if red is the splash. Glitter and Frost. Nice. So they are ramping. They've definitely outvalued us a little bit. I'm going to play the post-combat Demon Bolt. Just completely missed a point of damage, taking 3 for no reason. And we'll Giant's Amulet here. It's hard for too many things to go wrong with the Giant's Amulet. Not saying it can't go wrong, but it does set us up for the squash next turn, plus the Behold the Multiverse. Opponent's going to untap with 6 mana, though. They can activate this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they need 1 more before they can activate the Slumber Mound. Goldspan Dragon. Okay. So they're just going to have a ton of mana here. We're going to squash it and probably lose, would be my guess. Into another rare. Sure. We've got rares. That's okay. I understand. I'm going to attack with the 4/5. I am going to squash your dragon now, although I should do it... I guess it kind of doesn't matter. Should probably play Carven Hulk, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 1 off from foretelling this, but getting the creature on board seems pretty good here. Let's go and squash your dragon. It makes a treasure token when I target it, which means they do have 2 mana right now. So if they have like Disdainful Stroke in hand, then sure. Sure, Behold. Our opponent's just playing... I drafted all the good rares, good stuff deck, which I can't blame him for doing that. I'm going to play a Carven Hulk here. Craven Hulk, I should say. 1 top. I don't like that. Let's get a 4/4 on board. So this will gain them life equal to the toughness of any angels or clerics that enter the battlefield under their control. I've got a pretty good board state. They do, however, have 7 mana. They can make a 4/4 with this Not Vold thing. Masked Vandal is going to take out my Giant Amulet here. That's not the worst. It does gain him life. It is a cleric. I like this deck my opponent has. Grizzled Outrider, too. Alright, they've got some good ones. Disdainful Stroke off the top would have been a little better in a different spot. We should just cast this now. Mists and Depart both seem okay here. The Mists less so, I guess. Do I have better? I kind of have better, right? If I Depart this right now, I can attack for 8, and then I can counter this on the way back down. I want the Depart. I think the Mist is a little bit worse. Okay, we have an island there, so we can actually... Let's just bounce this and attack for 8. Boom, boom. Opponent's deck is sweet. Opponent's deck is sweet. They have a lot of mana. I'm kind of out of resources. Let's counter that. Now I'm definitely out of resources, so draw Glimpse, please. Glimpse would be amazing. Pretty please. Elven Bow. Okay. Surtland Frostpire, not very good here. If I attack with my 2 4/4s, they double block one of them with like these 2 and trade for probably the 1/3. Maybe the 2/3, and then the other one gets through, so I put them down to 5. They're going to use this to kill my Surtland Frostpire. I'm going to play the Frostpire. Got to get him to use this eventually anyway. It's not like it's even that good. I will attack with these, though. So I expect the 2 green creatures to block one of them. Oh, I like that a little better. They need this on board for some reason. I'm definitely going to kill the 2/4. I think they should have killed the token, though, right? No, they might have an answer to the token. All right, let's play this and pass. Opponent with 3 cards in hand still. Tons of mana, any color they want, plus basically a free 4/4 on board. And my board's kind of nothing. I think I need to draw a Glimpse Ice-High Troll. So this is Snow, +2/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. They have Snow with this into Mistwalker. Okay, so they can activate this and make it a 4/3 indestructible. Oh, that was bad. Alright, I gotta go for this now. It doesn't actually do anything because they just have the Ice-High Troll active. Doesn't kill a single creature. I'm gonna activate it though, just for the Scry 2. It's pretty bad. Doomskar Titan. This card is going to be extremely obnoxious, right? They have Snow. They can activate it a ton of times. I don't think Doomskar Titan's actually going to be good enough. Yeah, Doomskar Titan's not good enough here, because it doesn't even really give me a good attack. Alright. Surprised they haven't made the 4/4 yet. Can this kill basics? Destroy target land. Dwarven Hammer, that's a good one. So this is basically a 5-mana 5/1 with trample. Yeah. And then they can attach it elsewhere. I do think I'm going to lose this game, though. Pretty sure I'm going to lose this game. Unless my next draw is something just fantastic. 5/1 comes in, I'll block with the 1/3. It's not really getting any better anyway. Ice-High Troll coming in is a different story. No box. Pump it, make it 6 power? No. Dwarven Reinforcements is a pretty bad draw. So am I dead? They equip to Mistwalker 1, 2, 3, and they activate 1, 2, 3 times. So I'm dead. All right, we took a loss here. Took a loss here to just a deck that matched up a lot better against my deck. The Masked Vandal got something, even though it wasn't excellent. They had the Gold Span Dragon and got to use the value off of it. Just had a very mana-efficient turn, got a big hit. My enchantment would have been good there, but not great because it wouldn't have taken out their changelings. But I think the enchantment, the Saga, could have potentially drawn me a win from that game, from that board state. But that's going to put us at 5-1. We took a loss here, but we can still make our way to 7 wins, and we're going to jump right back in for match number 7. Welcome back. Match number 7. We took our first loss. I do like this hand. I've got a little bit of interaction for an early creature. I can glimpse to kind of dig for whatever I'm looking for. Mistwalker on turn 3. Maybe even this on turn 4. We're against Dark Knight. Or is it Dar Knight or is it Dark Knight? Codespell Cleric, so they're going to try to go off on us. Did I just tap down Codespell Cleric? Probably not. Alright, ship it back. Let's see how in on this strategy they are. Ooh, Usher of the Fallen. Into no second card, though. I'm probably just supposed to bind this 2/1. Next turn, just play Mistwalker. Yeah, I'll bind it before it gets too big. I'll just take my damage off the little guy. Basically give them a free hit whenever you cast Bind the Monster on a creature that hasn't attacked yet, but you don't take future hits. A red-white. No haste creature, please. It's a scary Firewalker. That's a decent one. Okay, let's go ahead and play a 1/4. And they can freely attack the Firewalker into it. And of course, if they have removal, that's going to be good too. Tempted to play this first if I can next turn, since it sets this up on turn 5. Rune of Speed, so +1/+0 and haste. Okay, opponent's beaten down. I'm already at 12, not looking amazing for us. Mists is actually pretty decent. So I'm going to go Glimpse here and hold up Mists of Littleja. And these Craven Hulks aren't great, but I don't know that a Mountain's actually that great either. So I'm going to take a Craven Hulk, play an Island, and pass the turn, forecasting the fact that I have blue up here. Could even just trade Mistwalker for this thing, but that's just asking for something bad to happen. Obviously, if I draw the Saga off the top, then we're basically right back in the game. Let's go ahead and drop this here. It's not great. They're probably just going to activate the Firewalker this turn and get a little bit of value. They played their land, though, right? I think they played their land first. So if they hit a land off the Firewalker, it doesn't do anything. Guess they could have a... Oh, they foretold a card? Oh, they foretold 2 cards. Nice. Solid Common is a decent draw. Let's go ahead and Glimpse now while we can, and then just figure out what we want to play from there. Depart the Realms are good. We definitely want these. So I'm going to play Island, and I'm going to go ahead and get a Depart... Well, I think what we want to do is actually get... We want to foretell this one, because then I have the option of casting either one. Whereas if I foretell this one, I can't cast either one. Yeah, so let's go ahead and foretell the counter spell, with the intention of hopefully using Depart the Realm, but we're going to have some big stiff stuff coming down this turn. Perhaps. Maybe, maybe not. Godhall's Guardian, 3/6. Just Depart the Realm on that? And then this can go fetch another Depart the Realm? Yeah, probably. Seems better than using the counterspell since they can't cast it again next turn. Yeah, I mean, I lose a card here essentially, but this does mean Frostpire Arcanist can come down, go fetch up another card for me. Actually feels pretty good, I'm not going to lie. This is going to go get another Depart. And I think I'm still a turn away from attacking here. Yeah, so they can foretell this again. Hagi Mob. 5/4 when it deals 1 damage to any target for boast. Sure. Probably bounce it and then just have Solid Common ready. Could also play this as a 3/5. Alright, so we go foretell. Pass turn. I'm actually going to let them attack me because if they want to use 2 mana on the boast ability, it's just less they can actually do next turn. They wouldn't be able to recast it. So I'm going to let them deal 1 to me if that's what they choose to do. Let's go ahead and bounce your Hagi Mob. We're really looking for a deal 4 to each non-giant. Dwarven Reinforcements is okay. I don't think I want to counter that one. They're just going to foretell the Godhall's Guardian again. We don't know that it's the Godhall's Guardian for sure, but we're pretty sure it's the Godhall's Guardian. That was a good draw, so I can play this Kinseekers and hold up some interaction. Kinseekers will actually come down with a counter this time. And it will scry 1. Squash seems good enough. We're going to keep that. And still don't feel like I get a lot of leverage out of attacking here. If they play the 3/6, do I counter that? I would definitely counter Hagi Mob. Not sure if I counter a 3/6. I don't think I counter that. Squash can also just kill that. Valor of the Worthy. Well, I'm going to bounce it in response. Just keep them off that spirit token. I do get my cards worth here because I got to blank the enchantment. And I think I could start attacking with Mistwalker now. I'm going to play Craven Hulk, hold up Disdainful Stroke, and just get in my one little point of chip damage here. Carvey H coming down. I can't actually cast Squash now that I think about it, but I do have Disdainful Stroke for whichever one of these big things they decide to play this turn, if that's even what they decide to do. I will Disdainful Stroke that. And now I feel like I'm pulling firmly ahead. Do need a little bit more. I would love to draw one of the tap lands. Squash is probably more important to play than this. Let's attack with Craven Hulk. They have to double block to kill it. If I attack with this, they have to triple block, and I can trade it off for 2 creatures. Right? If I go this plus this, and then they kill this, that's not great. So I'll probably go like this. I'll trade my Craven Hulk for 2 of your creatures. Perhaps I don't, because I have 2 lands in my deck that just kill these 2 ones, plus I have a Saga that does it. So in a very long game, if we just sit here doing this, I will just kill other little creatures anyway. But this felt fine. I'll keep up Squash. I'm going to let this 3/6 resolve. I don't think it changes the way the board plays out too much. Opponent has a lot of cards in hand. Alright, let me just draw the Saga. Come on. All 3 departs in the graveyard. Glimpse would also be good. We already cast Glimpse, so maybe not. Fearless Liberator, make a 2/1. That's fine by me. Dwarven Reinforcements, I'm going to foretell, but that's all I'm going to do with it. Let's go and attack for 1. Let's foretell this card. This lets me hold up Squash and saw it coming. No, I'm not playing this because my goal is to try and wrath the board at some point in this game. And it's not particularly good in those situations. Immersturm Raider, I assume, is going to discard a land here. They discarded nothing. They like their hand. Island is not actually the one we want. We want a mountain or a certain fire pillar thing. I'm going to go ahead and cash this in, though, because it just stops them from going like too wide or anything. I will play my island. I will pass the turn. I'm going to leave Mistwalker back now. Raven's Wings, +1/+0, flying, and is a bird in addition to its other types. So that's going to go ahead and make this thing bigger. I think I'm okay with that. I'll take my hit this turn, and then I'll squash this. And then what really even gets that much better here? This, I suppose. I could also counter the Raven's Wings, but I don't think I need to do that. Maybe I counter the Raven's Wings. It just seems like good late game inevitability. Yeah, let's go ahead and counter that. Because putting it on this isn't even that bad. Oh, a land. What in the world? Alright, give me my Saga, please. Just one time, give me my Saga. Have I cast Behold yet? I have not cast Behold the Multiverse. That would be a good draw as well. Alright. Alright, Demon Bolt's fine. Not great, but fine. Pretty sure I can just attack with Mistwalker here, right? Four blockers, 5 attackers. My blockers are pretty good. Oh, they have a squash. Squash. No, they can't cast Squash. 6 mana. They don't have a giant on board. It's a giant cat? No. They have like a Demon Bolt of their own or something like that. Majority of my deck is lands. At this point, I've drawn 7 lands, so I still have 10 in the deck. So I only have 7 spells left. That doesn't seem great. Ooh, Firewalker. Cashing in Firewalker. Okay, they hit Stalwart Valkyrie. That's a good one. They're basically throwing away the Firewalker, though, right? Like, if they have a trick here, I can interact with it. Blow up the enchantment. Invoke the Divine, perhaps. Okay, Stalwart Valkyrie. Sure. Does mean I don't have great attacks with Mistwalker anymore. Opponent has also only drawn 7 lands, for what it's worth. Alright, another mountain is actually pretty good. I would have preferred for it to be a tap land, one of the tapped red lands, but it is what it is. We're still playing defense right now. Waiting for our opponent to blow us out with some big spell. If they attack with Stalwart Valkyrie, I'll block. I won't pump. If they interact, I will use one of my removal spells, most likely the Demon Bolt. Doomscar Oracle, sure. Look how good this land would be right now. It would leave him with a 3/6 and me with these 3 creatures. Debating about casting a second spell here, it seems. Fearless Liberator attacking would be interesting. Honestly, if they attack with little creatures that these 2/1s can trade off for, I might just block with those. Huh. Yeah, Valkyrie attacking, I will... Yeah, they've got something going on here. They got something. Fearless Liberator 2. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to make them show me what they've got. No, that's a bad block. Should I do this as well? Nah, I don't care about this 2/1. I like the +2/+1 to all creatures, but I feel like they have a better attack if they have that in hand, right? They could attack with the 3/5 Vigilance, probably. Kaya's Onslaught, +1/+1 and double strike. Alright, let's go ahead and Demon Bolt your thing. And then they'll... Oh, they can't even make the 2/1, so... Those just trade. Alright, we're back to attacking with Mistwalker. Craven Hulk +1 Mistwalker activation. Alright, this is the plan. Through a Doomscar Oracle. The Craven Hulk's not a bad draw, because when I eventually do draw this saga, I'll have extra attackers on board. Granted, they'll have the stupid 3/6, but we can squash that if it ever becomes like that big of a threat, right? Bound in Gold. Can't attack, block, or crew vehicles. Alright. Well, we're going to be at a little bit of a standstill then. Is there any reason to activate this into Oblivion to put it in my graveyard? Does that do anything for me? Opponent debating on whether or not to cast the last spell in hand to trigger Doomscar Oracle, it seems. And doesn't seem like a spell they're interested in casting right now. Alright, Frost Pyre is exactly what I'm looking for. That'll leave them with the 3/6 as well. I don't even need the saga. So it's telegraphed here, but I'm showing them I'm showing him that it's on board. Plus it gives me a scry. Only uses 1 of my red mana. So I'll still have 2 mana up for this squash. Should I just squash end of turn? Probably not. Okay, we are going to just activate this. Island to the bottom, please. Thank you. Board looks way different now. I'll attack with Craven Hulk. My creatures actually attack through a 3/6 just fine. All 3 of them attack through a 3/6 without much trouble. Don't see a huge reason to play the mountain. Still don't think I need to play this yet. Although maybe I should get this on board in case I draw the Doomscar Giant. I have a lot of good top decks. The Saga, the Doomscar Giant, Behold the Multiverse. Alright, so I attack with all and then I play this. None of my creatures take damage. They can block Craven Hulk here, take 5. Sandbagging lands, perhaps. How bad would Doomscar be? Do they have Doomscar in their deck? Maybe. It's not unbeatable. I could see also just keeping this in hand. They might have been sandbagging lands for a little while here, it seems. Shackles of Treachery. Gain control of this. Sure. Attack me for 4. Sure. And then I kill them on the swing back. Okay. Thanks, opponent. Appreciate that. Cool. These are some very sluggish games, but my creatures are good at dumbing up the board and not very good at racing. So here we are, 6-1, potentially only 1 match left, 2 if I take a loss here. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it, and we'll talk about the deck after we wrap up here. This will be match number 8 coming up. We are here in potentially our final match against the Dorito Corgi. We've got a pretty good hand, I would say. Nice little foretell on turn 2. Probably the Demon Bolt. Almost assuredly the Demon Bolt. Okay. Against another blue deck. Blue seems pretty good in this set, from what I can tell. There's a couple kind of super filler cards. Carfell Harbinger. Do I Demon Bolt that right away? Nah, I think I'm going to play Mistwalker. Maybe I'll regret that, but we'll see. We've got kind of a mirror match thing going on, even the Bob Ross lands. Oh no, they have better mana fixing than me? What in the world? Disdainful Stroke's a pretty good draw. I could bind in the monster on this thing, just to shut down their mana a little bit, and then keep up Disdainful Stroke and Demon Bolt, but I think I actually want to play Craven. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can play Craven Hulk this turn. We're going to just play Craven Hulk. Develop my board a little bit better. Might take a little more damage off of whatever I end up binding if they play like a good creature this turn. And in the mirror match, my blue-red kind of like sweeper cards might not be as good. They're just bound to have a decent number of giants. So the Saga will likely lose a little bit of its value. Okay, they foretell another card here. Into... Unfortunately, my Disdainful Stroke's not going to get them. I could go for Binding here. And I think I kind of want to do that. It's very minimal damage. It kind of makes them use this mana now if that's what they want to do. I mean, they can obviously like float blue here, let that resolve, and then I'll go to combat, and they did not use it. Nice. And get this into Foretell? No, Disdainful Stroke seems like it's probably better. They did not have a particularly good instant to cast. Feels like maybe a counterspell. Doomscar. Let's go ahead and well, if I depart that, no, we should just Disdainful Stroke it. Okay, that was a pretty excellent draw, I would say. Just pushes in more damage. We're going to deal 8 to him, down to 6. And still keep up Demon Bolt for a potential blocker. Plus we have Depart the Realm, so if their way out of this is just a bunch of blockers, it's not going to work. Crush the Weak, however, does kill the 3-2. And they might have a follow-up. Like, if they have another Crush the Weak, that would be pretty impressive. Inga Rune Eyes. Okay, one creature has died. Oh, no creatures have died this turn. Let's go and bolt this. Do I have lethal? Yeah, I have lethal. This is actually 6 damage. Because I can double pump. Oh, do they have something? No, they're dead, right? And attack for 7. I guess I only had to attack for 6 there. Nice. I feel like we scraped by a little bit by our opponent just not having a very efficient play the turn that we tapped this thing now. And we actually had a little bit of a mid-rangey aggro start instead of drawing all of our like purely defensive cards. So we got to eke out the win against them there. Pretty sweet. Not going to complain. Essica, God of the Tree, and the Prismatic Bridge on the back. All right, let's go ahead and claim our prize. Feels good. Let's go ahead and open some packs and act like we care about the contents of said pack. Talk about a couple of the cards here, and then we'll wrap up the video. Icebreaker Kraken, probably very hard to make that work in Limited. Maybe not. I have not seen too many snow decks, but I also haven't played a lot. Dragonkin Berserker, pretty good, solid aggro creature. Dark Boar Pathway, sure. I'll take all of the pathways I can possibly get. All of the mana fixin for Arena. Goldspan Dragon. This card is a house. The fact that you pay 5, you attack with it right away, and you get refunded 2 of the mana so you can keep up interaction is just really good. And then your opponent targets this because they have to get it off the board, and you just get another treasure, so you kind of have 4 mana floating there. We lost to the deck that had this in it, which, you know, this was part of what beat us. It made them a bunch of mana. They attacked. They immediately got to foretell a card, and then on our turn, we had to use a removal spell on it, and we killed the dragon, but we gave them another treasure, and they were able to cast Behold the Beyond. So it's almost like this Goldspan Dragon let them cast Behold the Multiverse from their hand almost for free. It's kind of how that played out for them. Blood Sky Massacre has a lot of text. You can read that if you want, but seems like a card that would be fun to open in Limited at some point. And is this the last one? No, we got one more. We have a Search for Glory. Never playing this card in Limited. Pretty much will never make my main board. And then finally we pick up a Tusky, Bearer of Secrets. I probably will see this card at some point. Seems like it has some potential, although you kind of got to make it work out for you. And that's going to do it. Let's go ahead and look at the deck, talk about what worked, what didn't work, and we will wrap it up because this has likely been a very long video. I do expect blue-red to just be a really good color combination. If you take this out of the equation, our deck loses a little bit of its luster because it's really hard for us to come back in a stalled out board or get ahead. This, we saw it 3 or 4 times where we just held the board down with some of our blockers, all of our 4 toughness creatures, some Craven Hawks. Like, these are all 4 toughness creatures. And we just kind of sit there twiddling our thumbs, and at some point we draw this card, we wipe our opponent's board, and we just smash all in. It would have been interesting to see how this played out against a giant mirror match, because these 3 cards are not good in the mirror match. Obviously, right? They're good in our deck because they don't kill our creatures, so they must be bad in a mirror match because they're not going to kill our opponent's creatures. I would have happily gotten rid of this for pretty much anything else. Same with Breakneck Berserker. If I could have traded these out for just 2 more giant cards or giant payoffs, I would have been really happy. The Frostpire, where are you? This card seems really good to me, but you do need to pick up multiples of a couple different cards. We only had one way to make it work, and it's not even a premium card. But if I had at any point picked up another Demon Bolt, another Behold the Multiverse, another Glimpse the Cosmos, I think this card would have been incredible, or Squash. And it was just fine as it is. 4 mana, 4/5, held down the fort. Occasionally it fetched up Depart the Realm. Seemed pretty good. Giant's Amulet was pretty strong for us as well. given that, the turn you play, it's just really hard to be in that much trouble. Doomscar Titan was excellent. A lot of these cards were just very good. Even Carfell Harbinger really held its own in the first game or two. Bind the Monster, I think I want one of these in all of my blue decks, and I'd be willing to board it in or out in best of 3, but I'm always going to pick up the first one and be reluctant to pick up any more than that. And then Craven Hulk, I think if I could change things, I'd probably go at least -1 Craven Hulk as well, because you saw it in the one game where I got a little bit lucky, but sometimes this is like your first play of the game, or you go like Mistwalker into Craven Hulk, they kill your Mistwalker, and suddenly you're just taking all of the damage anyway. So yeah, this deck came together. I think it played out very nicely. We went 7-1. I'm happy with the results, and I look forward to drafting more of this. So if you enjoyed this video, or you had fun, you saw anything in the draft or in the actual gameplay that kind of piqued your interest, feel free to let me know. And we will be back for more of this. If you want to see more stuff like this on this channel outside of the Cube-related content, let me know that too. And remember, if you want to join our Cube and Discord community, you can do so in the link below this video. So that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. My name is Timothy with the Jank Diver Gaming, and I will see you all next time.